Why does the government have the right, if I'm a law-abiding citizen, to tell me that I cannot protect myself with my firearm?
Because the whole point of having a government is to trust the government to protect you.
No. What was your name?
Danny.
Danny. Stephen, nice to meet you, Danny.
Likewise.
Okay. I'm very pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment. Change my mind. I'm open.
Okay. First, I have a little clarification. Do you believe guns have uses other than hunting?
Yes.
What do you believe those are?
I believe that the Second Amendment, I should clarify, is about the basic right to self-preservation. Be that from internal threats, be that from domestic threats, or be that from a threat of a tyrannical government. That's the purpose and intent of the Second Amendment. That is my contention.
I agree that the Second Amendment has that intention. However, I do think that guns aren't necessarily the most effective way of defense.
Okay.
I believe that guns are so easy to.
Sorry, would you mind holding the mic just so I can, yeah, sorry,
so
because people are talking so I get loud.
I believe that if you have a gun, for example, in the case of a home invasion,
sure.
If you are a good gun owner, have it in a safe place, and not like under your pillow or anything,
right.
And you take care of it, then by the time you get to your gun, it probably is already too late to defend yourself.
Sure. Well, I guess let's define sort of, maybe we're not disagreeing. It seems like maybe you're pro-Second Amendment. You believe that people have the right to purchase and bear arms. As to whether an individual is effective in defending their house with their own firearm, I can tell you that mine is very easily accessible, and many of them are, and that wouldn't be the scenario. So it doesn't change the right for me to have that firearm to protect my home.
I also believe that there is definitely a reason to have them for sport, not just hunting, but also aiming practice, gun
Sure.
ranges. I have a friend who was on their way to actually becoming a professional marksman, but then they got glaucoma.
Yeah, but that's not what the Second Amendment is about. So I guess we agree on that.
Yeah.
You're probably not looking to change my mind on that. You agree people have the right to purchase and bear arms.
Yes, I have an disagreement with mostly the concealed carry laws and such, in that I believe that having a gun for the purposes I've set out is perfectly fine, but that's no reason to carry one around in public, particularly because it could be used against you. Someone could grab it off your person and threaten you with it.
Someone could take your car and run you over with it.
Yes, but
Does that mean that we can't sell you a car?
cars actually kill way more people than guns, but cars are necessary to get to point A from point A to point B.
No, they're not. You can take public transportation. You can take a bike. You can walk.
Not everywhere. Not everywhere has public transportation.
There's always a way.
Many
But my
rural
point is
areas, you need a car in order to get several miles to the grocery store to get your food for the day.
Let me ask you this. Is it your contention that because something you can legally own could be used against you or someone else, the government has the right to tell you that you couldn't own said item? Is that your presupposition?
I believe that it's not like you can't own it. You can own it. It's that you can't, for no good reason, bring it out in public.
What would be no good reason? What would be a good reason for someone to be able to exercise their right to protect themselves?
A good reason is I am bringing this gun to the gun range to go.
No, to protect myself. Let's get rid of the sports and the hunting aspect of it, right? The Second Amendment exists to protect yourself. So why is it, again, I'm hearing, why does the government have the right, if I'm a law-abiding citizen, to tell me that I cannot protect myself with my firearm?
Because the whole point of having a government is to trust the government to protect you.
No. No, that's not true.
Because as a woman, I feel very threatened walking around at night on my own.
You should probably get a gun.
I have an app on my phone where I can set it up where one touch brings the police to my location, and it actually alerts the police that I might have a call when I click a certain button. Like if I'm feeling somewhat threatened, I click one button.
Let me ask you a question here real quick.
And
Let me ask a question. The police come. What would the police be able to do that you wouldn't?
They are able to physically, if not intimidate, then
But let's say it
contend with
escalates.
this.
Let's say a very violent attacker, okay? You call the police. You are calling the police
Because I fear for my life.
and they would protect you.
Yes.
With?
With firearms, because they are trained and they have a legal responsibility to use those firearms properly in a way that casual firearms owners do not.
Final question. Do you believe we have a police brutality problem in the United
Yes.
States?
I do. I believe that police need to be trained better than they are now.
But do you believe in a society where police exclusively are granted the rights to carry firearms?
No. Police, not only police. I say police should have firearms to deal with violent individuals that threaten the police officer's life.
Okay.
Whereas the everyday person should be able to rely on the police to do that. Now the problem we have is that we aren't able to rely on the police to do that.
Right.
I don't think the solution to that is get guns. I think the solution to that is reform the police department.
I disagree with you. Do you think that maybe after this conversation, hearing some of the things that you've said, talking about how you believe it's the job to trust the government, and then have talked about inherent corruption in the government police force, I would encourage you and hope that maybe you would reconsider some of these stances moving forward about having a society where only the police have the right to carry firearms. I think maybe we would find some common ground. Think about it, and then maybe if I'm still here, come back and we can talk about it. But I know we got some other people here in line.
Okay.
What was your name again?
Danny.
Danny, thank you so much, Danny. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
taking the time.
And one last little quip. I'm also particularly vulnerable to police as a disabled trans person. So I do really understand the police brutality issue.
Right.
But I think that guns aren't the answer. So thank you.
Thank you.
It just isn't done that way.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.